Top 20 evil video game themes as chosen by you in our Discord. In the background is Final Fantasy VII's Shinra Corporation. We're going to start off with one. This is a European version of a song you might know. I'm going to let it play because you'll probably recognize it immediately. But because it's the European version, it's a little slower because our European friends, you know how they are. All right, that's a European version. I don't know if that's just because like a different style they did it, or, I mean, it can't be because of the like translation, or then every Sonic track would sound really slow. That would be crazy. Just to compare it, here is the Sonic 1 music from the boss. This is a boss theme where you really have to get something done. It's quick. You have to have quick reflexes. But this one definitely, that slow isn't it amazing? It's just a little bit slower, but it gives it more of like a slower kind of marching, plodding, like it's inevitable. It makes it heavier. Leonard says, I'll have you know you Europeans are not slow. Well, since it took you about 5 minutes to respond to the being slow comment, yeah, I think you might have proved the point. A fantastic theme. The melody is incredible. The drums, just like that pounding snare. So much snare in it. Bop, bop. Like using the snare where you would use a kick or like a cymbal. It just sounds like you're being clubbed. Boom, boom. Oh, it's got so many like... It's got these sort of like oscillating layers almost beneath it. Like with the bass kind of going, the lower pieces going one direction. Boom. This would actually sound great with an orchestra. Is there an orchestra version? Sonic 1 Boss Orchestra. Please, someone have played this live. There's MIDI orchestra versions. I'm not going to take a risk on that crap. All right. Well, I guess maybe Video Games Live. Get on it. That would be a way to introduce it. I feel like the people at Video Games Live, they kind of have this, they get that it's a show, the pomp and circumstance of it. Walking out to that theme would be good. Have that for the conductor. Get on it, Video Games Live. All right, what a great track. Next up, it's a Prince track, so you can guess. You can probably narrow it down to some kind of cartoon licensed game. Here's a hint. This one's made by THQ. Pretty nice track. It's got that really kind of fun big band swing to it. I like the percussive noises of that toy being sort of wound up. It's probably as happy as an evil theme can be. This is more like somebody who has an evil plan. The plan is really going into motion. They're like, we're going to make all these evil toys. They're going to brainwash kids. And that way we're going to get all their parents' credit card information and take over the world. Through toys. This is when the evil villain is at their peak of their powers. A Pixar villain, yeah. Dancing around, maybe singing a little song or two here. It's evil, but you know that in the end they're going to lose. It reminds me, me and Stella were watching some show last night called Ginny and Georgia. And it's sort of like... I saw a good comparison, somebody calling it Gilmore Girls meets Desperate Housewives. It doesn't know whether it wants to be dark and serious and deal with serious issues like pain, like kids cutting and sex, but then on the other hand, it's also really cheesy with these sort of like one-dimensional characters. And sometimes things will happen on the screen and Stella's like, oh, she's doing that. And I think... it's so obvious that the good people are going to be but the good people. And that's such an obvious bad person. But she's right into it. It's sort of that like enjoyable, light kind of TV. Anyways, much better than that is our next track here. And the rest of our tracks. This is Blasphemous from Que las campanas me doblen. I think this is actually a fairly sort of ambient evil track. Oh no. Interesting track, quite a builder, a very mature and elegant track. It has this unsettling but slightly satisfying thing of this is more like to me this is very seductive evil, because it's constantly rotating these chords around and not resolving to where you think it's going to go. It keeps adding this extra note where it's sort of like ba, but you want it to go ba da bum bum, and it never goes to that home note. Now it's switching up a bit, but for the most part, but it's not unsettling like a creepy feeling. It's sort of like, this is a bit creepy, but I like it. Very seductive, like a vampire woman leading me, or man, a vampire seductress, pulling the succubus, leading you by the hand into some red velvety party room, past a hidden bookcase doorway. And you're wondering, does this person have an STD? Next up on our list, as voted by you, is... oh, hey, we were just talking about Pokemon. This is Gold, Silver, Crystal, Battle, Team Rocket music. Wonder how evil this is going to sound. Yeah, an interesting, lot of space due to the soft bass line. Yeah, it kind of sounds like, it has a real band feel with just sort of like I mean, it's just bass. And then the two instruments on top due to the limitations of the Game Boy. There's no drums, but the bass is really driving it the whole way through. So it actually kind of sounds more like you're watching a string quartet. It's pretty active. It's pretty bouncy and bright. It's only slightly evil, I'd say. You know, it's sort of like, yeah, you may think they're evil, but they think they're doing the right thing. This is like this Team Rocket thinks that they are definitely in the right. It's a really nice track. It's very intricate, nicely layered. A lot of nice counterpoint. Yeah, it's more like mischievous. But there's definitely almost like a heroic sound behind it. Interesting. Very nice. All right, this one's from the PlayStation 1 era, Wild Arms Power Fighter versus the Quarter Night Boss. Yeah, it does. I like the way you put that, Rudy. It sounds like something bad is underway, almost like you've snuck up on the bad guy's base, and you've just like kind of like when you first watching Lord of the Rings, when you realize all the things that they're doing, you know, all those orcs that they're making and little trolls or whatever those things are that come out of the black eggs. It has kind of like a soft, cushy vibe to it. I think that's probably just because they're using a lot of the PlayStation 1 instruments. But yeah, and the bell is definitely very doomy, gloomy. Interesting track. You know, it's not really a lot of what I was expecting. I was really expecting for the evil theme we'd hear more like over-the-top evil stuff. But I think we've hit kind of a nice middle ground with a lot of this stuff. Plays in fighting against any of the Quarter Night bosses, which are the major antagonists. Okay, I could see that. So this is a track that you're going to have to hear multiple times. And it's signifying a big fight, not necessarily the final fight. Giant flying murder babies. Yeah, I can see that. All right. I don't even know what this one sounds like, but I'm happy to see the logo, and I wonder if you will be too. Of course. Final Fantasy IX. I wonder what track it is, though. I won't tell you. Let's leave something up to the imagination. nice little pretty section. Oh my god. Ooh. Just Muse? You know, I like how Prince said about that being sound like a wrestler's intro. This kind of like heavy riff. Sounds like something you'd see on Raw in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's the Abominator. He's coming out to fight Stone Cold. Smash. Or like Braun Strowman if you're into modern wrestling. A bad guy in control. I like that, Gray. It's got those nice prog elements, which you hear sort of like the uneven or unconventional drum rhythms that you hear in a lot of Japanese villain writing music. But it's just got like a big, confident swagger to it. Like, this is the big boss. They're in control. You don't know how you're going to defeat them. And they're going to kick your fucking ass. Unless you brought enough elixirs and leveled up, bitch. Oof. Okay, alright. That was really nice. Of course, it's fun. Final Fantasy. Is that another Uematsu track? What a bloody genius. Shall we play 2 in a row from Final Fantasy? The game released after that. It's amazing. When you look back at the release dates of these games, it's crazy. Like, Final Fantasy 9 release was July 7th, 2000. Okay. Final Fantasy X, the next year, July 19th, 2001. It's going to make a game many consider one of the greatest of all time. And it came out the next year. This one's not Uematsu, right? Final Fantasy X is when they started bringing in some other composers. All right, this is Seymour's Ambition. This is freaking evil. Experiments. It's, yeah, because it has the elegance of something intelligent going on, but it's these long jumps of boop 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 that go to these crazy places where you're going along for the ride with the scale, and then it takes you to some place you never thought you'd want to be. Seymour, as he reveals his evil. Great track. This is as part of our what is the unexpected thing that ends up reappearing in a lot of these tracks that holds them together. Seems to be a lot of these sort of halftime rock beats, like something you would hear in We Will Rock You. Excellent, excellent, excellent indeed. Hello, I am still here. The answer is Final Fantasy. All right, this one is going to be a lot different. This is a very, very modern game. I'm going to play... I like to give a chance for you to guess. there's no prize or anything, but sometimes I'll put up the thumbnail and you can guess what song it's going to be. Sometimes I'll just play the song, you can guess what game it is. Really pretty track. It goes on for about 4 minutes. There, it gets a lot bigger here. Great track. Really beautiful. Kind of like achingly beautiful, but evil and twisted. Like something really beautiful has been taken and corrupted. A reflection on the evil that has occurred. Good way of putting it. Yeah, I'd highly recommend. I mean, Cyberpunk, there's a lot of good game there. It just was overhyped and released before it was finished. And tried to do so much that it can't capitalize on everything that it wanted to do. But yeah, once it's out and patched up, I still recommend it to anybody. It's just not the game changer that it could have been. And it really could have been. It had a lot of potential. All right. We learned a lot from that moment, didn't we? This one. Well, I don't know much about this. Sora no Kiseki, The Enforcers. Oh, I would love to play that game in VR. Give it to me in VR, baby. See how evil this girl and this gray guy gets. Oh. interesting. Sort of like a Steve Vai, Joe Satriani guitar god doing an evil track. It's got some decent ambience around that very like straight ahead guitar god rock tone. I like the B section and the intro a lot, and the sort of uneven drums, and then it kind of gets into that like more chuggy straight ahead. Whoa, like quite a lot of white noise there. Pretty interesting. Next up, let's go something way wacko different. See if you can guess what game this is from. Lena, because you need to be told you can guess this one. There you go. Capcom version of Zelda. Remember we covered this last Sunday. Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons music, The Room of Rights. I meant to fade that in a lot slower. I love that low drone working with the high sort of like crystally melody on top. And then this sort of rhythm that doesn't really want to commit. That's sort of like shambling along. Kind of reminds me of like Dr. Frankenstein's assistant grabbing dead bodies and shambling away through the night or through the sewers. Yeah, it does sound a little different than a typical Zelda because it's not the Nintendo sound team, right? Zelda Oracle of Seasons. That was a nice one. Thanks, Chris. All right. Are you ready to get Japanese yet again? As we mostly do. What's the name of the song? I'll let Chris tell you. I thought Something Rights. Oh, man. Very ill. Yeah, it's nice. It's almost like following the life cycle of something evil. Like it starts as a heartbeat, and then like a baby in the womb, growing up to be something very evil. Like the way these faces look. The great thing is, at the time, this probably would have been like, wow, look at those faces. So facey.
Hey, Alan. Let's skip 300.
Hot single ladies in your area. Alright. That was quite odd. That was a good track, though. Very evil. How about this one from Nightmare Creatures on the PlayStation 1? This one has a romantic name called Track 3. Alright, we're 151 in so far. Alright, it's a bit of a builder, but I think it does a great job of setting the tone. Watching the gameplay of this and listening to the music, you know, you hear this like CD quality, real instruments. Such a jump from the Super Nintendo before it. But like doing 3D action on a PlayStation 1 was pretty difficult, although this one actually looks like they nail it pretty well. I've never seen this game before, but pretty impressive for the time. I see that they're using the horror aspects of it to just have a lot of black everywhere so you don't have to pop things in. Pretty interesting game. Nice artifact at the time. I love watching... That's when it's really interesting, is when the technology is moving at different rates and you're watching how people are solving the problems. Excellent. Nightmare Creatures. Hey, how about this one? Are you ready for it? Let's keep it darker. I'll see if people can guess this one. I wouldn't really say this is all that evil of a track. It's exciting. It's beautiful. It's more like kind of, it's nice. It's almost like if there was an archangel and you needed to, or like some kind of form of evil, and you needed to summon a religious power from a church to appear and strike down the evil. Yeah, I would say it's probably the least evil one, but I like it. It is in context. Well, I would disagree, because well, not in the context of now, anyways. Okay. Nice track, though. I always like Nier music. Let's try again for something evil. How about I won't tell you what this one is. Sorry, it's Klonoa. It's called Facade and Blade from Klonoa. Yeah, more like a very, very light-hearted, slightly evil. It's got some gloom. It's got those static chords that are sticking out unresolved, those pads. Kind of that low bass darting around really quickly. Definitely sounds like it's up to no good. Very cartoony. It kind of sounds like a bunch of children are plotting to steal some cookies.
We're gonna build a ladder out of chairs and tables and steal all the cookies.
Hey, I can be an NPC in a Final Fantasy game now.
Hey, should you go over there and find some materia?
Yes. All right, let's get serious. Always a favorite on the top 20 list. This game and franchise appears a lot. Man, how about those backwards loops? Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill soundtracks have, do you guys happen to know the composer and anything else they've worked on? There's stuff that I didn't listen to a lot in my previous life before streaming games and doing this kind of thing, but the amount that it comes up and how consistently strong, unique, and fitting. They always find different ways to convey something that has been done so many times in such a generic way. It does have a real melancholy with it. I love those loops in the background that are going... It almost sounds like they're backwards loops of noise, or if it's almost like it's going backwards and then forwards. But it feels like it's kind of taking you back and forth. Oh, he did the medium? Oh my god. So do people consider the medium maybe a spiritual successor to Silent Hill, perhaps? Akira Yamaoka. Thanks, Ruth. In and out, like breathing, yeah. Pretty amazing. I keep trying to listen to Brian Eno's album, his big like ambient abstract album, the first one. And I get it. At the time, it was probably pretty impressive, but a track came on and I'm thinking, this is not that good. It's just like, okay, you might listen to this and think, oh, it's random notes, but they're not. They're placed in it's very considered, every piece of this track, and it really, really works. There's nothing about this that just seems like easy abstract. Fantastic. I could keep listening to that, but I won't, in the interests of time. I mean, how do you match up to something like Silent Hill with something like this from Final Fantasy V? A little more on the nose. Oh, halftime swagger! What a fun theme. That's another one of those sort of like wrestling themes. It's kind of cartoony and hammy. It's really trying to make a big show. This like halftime, but using all the momentum of the halftime stops to really propel those notes. Like this bass here. So cool. This could work in Sonic as well. This sort of, to me, seems like a mixture between Super Nintendo and Sega for some reason. It's got a bit of that like attitude, and it's so rocky, and it's a lot of snare drum like you would hear in the Sega Genesis. An evil child commander is also a bit of a brat, and definitely being used by the main villain who will sacrifice them ruthlessly. Very funky. Boom, 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 ka. Boom, 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 ka. Yeah, this is the European version of a Sonic track. That was really nice. I was kind of, sometimes you pick these themes and you think, oh, it's just going to be the same and it's going to be kind of depressing. Like, do I want to listen to evil music for an hour? But this has been a really nice mix, so well done. All right. Oh, we need our intermission sound. This was a guest contributor who did not request this in our Discord. Okay, we can't play that too much, right? Wasn't there like some sort of controversy around this that kids were killing themselves or not having showers when they had this? Oh, pretty terrible. It is kind of comforting because it's so close. It's sort of like elements of comforting JRPG town themes, but the way that it's combined, it's really twisted. It makes you think there's something seriously wrong going on here. The way that just like this single note that plays constantly. There's like no breath between the notes. Oh God. All right. Enough of that. Okay, now we're going to go to one of my picks, which we don't hear too often. Because it's so popular with you guys. That oboe or whatever is so farty. My favorite parts in probably the whole Super Mario World soundtrack is when this melody here does that transition. So warm and squishy, being from Super Mario World. But yeah, that's something I didn't notice, is that it's the same melody for every track. This is just the minor version of that melody. Oh, but when it does that transition, I remember being a kid and hearing that for the first time and just hanging out in the castle as much as I could. When it breaks out of this set piece, I think right here. When the bass goes up a semitone from where it was before. Yeah, Prince. And you know what, Prince? I imagine the villain telling the hero something, and they're about to get to the big part of their plan. And they're like, "Wait, this will be more effective if I'm at the top of the staircase. Don't leave." It's quite dusty. I'll go clean the staircase. There, now I'm up here. Don't you see? It was my plan all along to get you here at the bottom of the staircase while I am at the top. And then I'll take your princess and throw her down the staircase. I don't like to say memes too often, but that song does give me life. Oh, it took a bit away just to say it. Oh. Oh my god, this is giving Lavender Town a run for its money. That was fucked up. This is from The Pink Panther Passport to Peril, an animated learning adventure. For some reason, this is when you go to Camp Chili Wawa Day 4. Is this what it's supposed to sound like? Or is my computer melting? Did somebody upload this at the wrong bit rate? It's the European version. An animated learning adventure. If you want your children to learn to be psychopathic, homicidal murderers. Okay, that was terrifying. The Pink Panther. Good God. Oh, my Lord. I don't really remember this being the final boss. Is this like some kind of DLC stuff or like a secret ending? This might impact my final ranking when we talk about it this Sunday on our Dark Souls Bloodborne Sekiro franchise ranking. That was a secret ending? Okay. I mean, it basically just looks like the Queen Alien. This is the true final boss when you eat 3 umbilical cords. I wonder if any human has experienced that. Quite a tall order to write a whole soundtrack of evil-sounding music and then come up with something that is the final secret boss. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I can't possibly play this one after that. It's too much. Okay, we'll try this one. Man, really evil. A lot of the hallmarks of evil stuff, like really industrial sounds, chanting, whispering, kind of screaming. Everything is trying to be quite evil in this. It's interesting to see it on top of this very cutesy, cartoony looking game. I've never actually played this game. It's pretty neat. Sort of like a mix of old school Zelda and like... This part almost looks like it's from Pac-Man. Distilled evil with a glass of Chianti. This track is very evil. And it is yet another slow halftime rock beat with an evil swagger, which makes it a little more fun. Nice track. All right, we've only got one more on our list here. Is there anyone who only got, say, like one track in that wanted more? A few other people got about 3. It was harder to organize them this time because some people were putting in like 1 and 2 and then 5. Interesting track. It's got sort of like the opening drum beat to me sounds like 80s, late 80s hip hop.
My name's Mario, lady's choice. I live like a plumber. I got no voice. It's Italian man. It's an old man. Montanet. Ooh, Bowsy.
I don't know. But yeah, it got kind of like a dastardly song. Probably the fastest rock beat we've heard so far. These sort of like slow ones, but it's definitely got that swagger of a rock drum beat. Some pretty simple elements, but they all work really well together. Great track. Matched only by maybe... There's actually a really nice... There's a theme leading up to it. Bowser's Road. Which is quite nice. This is a little more heroic than evil. If you're watching the YouTube high quality upload, thank you. If you want to join in, join our Discord. Should be a link in the description. If there isn't, please leave a comment on the video and we'll rectify that. We do it every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we play people's submissions from our Discord. On Sundays, we do at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We also take submissions in our Discord to do ranking of different games like Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, Zelda. Those are all up, and you can check those out. This Sunday is going to be our rankings of all the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Sekiro, and Bloodborne. So watch that. In between, we'll be doing some game streaming. I've been playing some Xenogears for the first time. I'm really impressed with that. I just beat Bowser's Fury Road. Bowser's, oh my god, that'd be fun. Bowser's Mad Max Fury Road. And I'll guess I'll put up a video talking about that. Playing some Xenogears. And maybe getting back to Silent Hill 1 and 2. And then once our internet improves, more high quality game stream. But until then, more talking, which I really enjoy. So if you're watching the YouTube high quality video, thank you very much and goodbye.